Hello, JB.
How you doing, Shayna?
I'm doing very well. How are you?
Uh, I am doing really, really well.
Good. How was your holiday weekend?
It was great. Actually, the weather was perfect for it. Got to enjoy a barbecue and the pool and stuff like that. All in my own little domain here, so it was kind of nice.
Good. I'm glad to hear. Well, we are back for another episode of Automotivated. And today we're going to be talking about your shop's biggest asset. And what would that be, JB?
Your best customers.
Yes, it is. We all know, we talk about customers time and time again. At the end of the day, we're here to support our customers. We're here to, make sure that they have a safe vehicle that gets them from point A to point B appropriately. So I think the biggest question comes down to who really is the shop's ideal customer?
Well, in reality, the shop's best customer is the one that comes back on a regular basis.
Hmm.
And the reason for that is that they have a 65% chance of selling to that person, where opposed to somebody that's brand new, you only have like a 20% chance of selling to a brand new person. And you're going to spend 5 times the amount to get them in the door and out the door as your regular customer. So the regular customer wins.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really good point when it comes to loyalty. When you have not only a loyal customer, you know that they're more likely to come back. You know that there's more trust established. So they're going to, invest more into your shop. But I think another thing that's interesting is I feel like there's also a benefit to the shop because you know the work that your team has done. You've been in the situation where you've been in the garage. Has it ever been like, oh, what was this other shop doing? And as the new customer comes to you, but the work was done by a shop prior.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's part of the problem with the business is that there's shops out there that are doing things that are not quite right. I'm not here to point any fingers or anything like that, but some people take shortcuts and they're questionable. One example, and I'm going to date myself here, is when I was a tech a long time ago, I was doing a tune-up on a vehicle that had like 80,000 miles on it, and it still had one of the original spark plugs in it from someone doing a tune-up, but it's a tough one to get at. They left it in place. And I was just like flabbergasted. It's the original one from the factory, and that was the main problem the vehicle was having. So shortcuts.
Absolutely. All right. So we know that keeping your current customers and making sure that they stay loyal, that's going to be your number one customer. But then, really, what else should shops be looking for with the people that they have coming into their shops?
Well, you always need to expand your customer base. So there's no question you're going to be bringing ones in. I think one of the things that you need to look for is how are you bringing them in? Are you putting out like one of those really cheap oil changes?
Mhm.
Because if you're doing that, the quality of the people you're bringing in are going to be questionable. So how are you approaching this? And those ones that come in on those coupons, all they're looking for is the cheapest thing that they can get. So
Mhm.
that's not good for your bottom line, and that's not good for your long term because you're going to find out that they're going to cost you more than they're worth.
Absolutely. And I think that's a really great point. You're always going to want to have some type of incentive to get new customers in. Referrals are always great when people are, singing your praises and recommending your business. That's always, one way to get to get new customers in. However, there also is that marketing approach where you want to have some type of incentive, but you don't want to incentivize the wrong people. And oftentimes when you're cutting prices and doing things along those lines, it's a rat's race to the bottom.
Great way of putting it. Well, you said something pretty good right there. Why are we spending the money on bringing in people that aren't going to do good, aren't going to be good customers? Why don't we pay our current customers to bring people in?
Mm-hmm.
Because one, that builds the trust with them, and two, their word of mouth is going to bring somebody in. We're not giving them any discounts. They're just finding out that, hey, I was told you guys are great. Let's give it a go.
Mm-hmm. Yep, absolutely. And I know from some of the shops that I've spoken to, and this is really going to vary by your region, how busy you are, the competition in the space. But I know about a 5 to 7 mile radius is usually a decent average of, how far people are willing to drive. Now, of course, based off of where you live, and again, the competition, that can change. But is that what you've typically seen as well?
Yeah, generally your local people are the ones that you're going to see. But when you have a customer that you've formed a really good bond with, they may have moved further away or whatever, and they will still make the trip. I've had customers that would literally drive 50 miles to come into the shop because they knew what we're going to do and how we're going to do it, and they had trust. And those customers are the ones that are your best customers because, hey, get it done.
Absolutely. What are some other things that we should be looking about as far as ideal customers, and making sure that we're making not only the current customers come back, but new customers come in?
Well, I think getting reviews is very important and being part of social media because right now, with the way things with COVID is, everybody's online searching, everyone's ordering online, everyone's doing a lot of things online. So if you don't have a presence up there, that's where you want to put it. And think about it. Your good customers, the ones that are making you guys the money and everything like that, they're going to be able to put reviews up there and bring new customers in. So that's going to be a great thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think, at the end of the day, your service is going to speak for itself. But if you can incentivize and just encourage your current customers to share with their friends, share with their family members, sometimes share with the people that they're sharing a household with, right?
Hmm.
Because we've seen that before. One vehicle comes into the shop, but they might have three vehicles in the driveway. What can you do to really make the most out of each person that you talk to, and expand the awareness around your shop?
I mean, that is another great example there, Shayna. The customer has three cars in their driveway, but they brought one in. Investing money in those people to bring the other cars in is going to be more return on that investment because you've already got them and you're paying to bring other people, so you have a much higher chance of bringing those other people in because you're already known to the family and everything's good. But when you're shooting out into the public, that 5 to 7 mile radius, you have no idea what you're going to get.
hmm Absolutely. And one of the tools that we have here at Bolt On Technology is ProCall. How does ProCall fit into understanding your customers at the front desk?
Well, ProCall makes you an informed service advisor. When a customer calls you, a little balloon pops up on the bottom of the screen, and then you click on that. And if that customer is one of your current customers, all their information is now right in front of you. How much do they spend with you? How long have they been a customer? And you can look through all this. And here's the thing: when your shop is busy and you have those people, when you open up ProCall and it shows this customer only gets the 1995 oil change and nothing else, and your shop's busy and you're jammed, maybe you're going to tell that customer, hey, we can handle you in 3 weeks, and leave it open for the customers that are going to pay you more and build your bottom line.
Absolutely. Yeah. And what it comes down to, knowledge is always going to be power. And what Bolt On's able to do is really help you with tools so that way you can stay informed time and time again. So I think that's a really important factor that people don't necessarily consider. When you're doing any type of sales call, right? You're not going in and trying to sell everything if they're only interested in one thing. You want to make sure that all of your conversations and are backed up by what it is that they need. And if you can say, oh, you have this car coming in, it looks like you're due for this, this, and this. Not only are you preparing them for their trip in, you're making them feel valued because you know all of these things without them having to tell you.
Yeah, and that's a great advantage of ProCall too, because you can open up a screen that shows what cars need what. And keeping those recommendations in front of a customer is just like you said, they can prepare mentally and financially for when that stuff's due. And I think that builds a
Mhm.
level of trust with the customers because you always let them know what's coming next. As a matter of fact, you think about
Absolutely.
it this way. When you go to the dentist, before you leave, they set your next appointment. And don't they tell you what they're going to bring you back for?
hmm
Or if you go to your beauty parlor, which you really don't have to, but don't they tell you what they're bringing you back in for? We're going to do your highlights in the next visit. And that builds your trust with those people. And that's what a shop should be doing with their customers.
Absolutely. Yeah. So if you're looking at really what it is that's going to provide you the most value, it's going to be the customers that you already have in. Take advantage of them, make sure they're nurtured, make sure they're feeling valued, and then let them be your catalyst to expanding into the community. Let them tell their friends, let them tell their family, let them leave reviews. It's all super important. And, if you can invest in those ideal customers, which are your current customers, then you're going to be able to move forward and be more successful.
Absolutely. I couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, JB, I know I'm feeling automotivated. How are you feeling?
I am tongue tied, but I'm auto motivated too.
Perfect. All right. Well, thank you again for joining me. And thank you all for tuning in. We have another episode coming up in 2 weeks, in 2 Wednesdays. So feel free to drop us a line. Let us know how you're doing, how your shop's starting to bounce back from the pandemic. And if there's anything that you want to know, let us know so we can address it. But JB, always a pleasure to see you.
Always a pleasure to be here, and thank you for letting me share this great information.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.